Hello and welcome to Breakfast for Pancakes. I am your host, PK Sullivan. This week's video comes from a friend of mine. She is not a big home cook. She doesn't do the same sorts of cooking that I am, so she really wanted to know what I consider essential to a modern kitchen. What are the bare necessities that you need in order to cook effectively? And that's what this video is today. Later, I will go into some of the nice to haves and even my just complete splurge items in separate videos for people who, like me, are inclined towards gadgets and new technology and tools. In order to do most recipes, you're going to need 3 vessels. You're going to need a pot, a pan, and a saucepan. For your pot, you're going to want something that is 5 to 7 quarts, can hold a lot of liquid. The pot is going to be one of the most versatile cooking vessels in your kitchen. You're going to be boiling pasta, reducing stocks, making stews and chilies and soups, but you can also use this when you are doing a casserole if you don't have a casserole dish. You can roast in here. I have done French style pot roasted chicken. It was actually really nice. It's kind of a cool recipe. You also want it to be pretty heavy on the bottom. Heavy bottom pots are ideal just because they will hold onto the heat and really help you cook the food. When you're getting a pot like this, I don't recommend getting a cast iron Dutch oven unless you're going to go enamel. Reason being, when I do a big batch of tomato sauce or my chili, that's an acidic dish that's going to cook for a long time, can strip away the seasoning on a normal cast iron pan, which is why in my chili video from a few weeks ago, you see me using my enameled pot. You want it to have good handles so that you can pick it up when it's heavy. You don't want something that has plastic handles or rubber handles. It might sound like a good idea because they'll stay cool on the stovetop, but if this is your only pot for making something like chili or a long-term braise, you're going to want to be able to stick this in the oven. Also, you'll want to make sure that you have a lid for it. Get yourself, if you can, 7 quarts is the ideal. You want something nice and big. For pan, I really mean a skillet. And if you're only going to get one, get a big one. Get a 12-inch skillet so that you have lots of room in order to cook a wide variety of things. You can usually cook something that's meant for a small pan in a larger pan. You can't really cook something that's meant for a large pan in a small one. If you're only going to get one, I'm going to recommend you get cast iron or carbon steel. You want something that is going to be able to go from the stovetop into the oven when you are doing steaks or chicken. You want something that can fry an egg, make a pan sauce, do any number of things. Get yourself a nice 12-inch skillet. These are pretty reasonably priced. This carbon steel skillet, I think, was $40 plus shipping. Really not bad. Once you season it up, it is beautifully non-stick. You're good to go. You're basically in pan heaven, rocking and rolling. It will last you a lifetime and cook beautifully. I don't recommend doing a non-stick skillet for your single-use one, just because going from the stovetop to the oven with those sometimes can be tricky. A lot of those skillets will have rubberized handles, or the material is not a good fit for cooking in the oven. So again, carbon steel, cast iron, learn to season it, keep it tuned up. You'll be cooking like a rock star. Lastly, a saucepan. A saucepan is sort of the halfway point between a skillet and a pot. It's going to have a more pot shape where it has a deep well for you to be cooking liquids in, but it's going to have a side handle like this. I have less strong feelings about a saucepan. I still think you should get one with a reasonably heavy bottom. Get something that is probably stainless steel. You'll be good to go. Don't do cast iron. You don't need to do nonstick. You typically won't be cooking things that are going to take advantage of nonstick in a saucepan, so there's no real reason to. You should have one. They are incredibly useful. This is where you make a ton of different sauces, and you'll see me use it on my stovetop in my show all the time. Get yourself a lid. If you finish your sauce too early and you want to keep it warm, plop your lid down, slide it off to the side, and you're good to go. Thank you for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, please like and subscribe. Hit those buttons down below, bell, for notifications, all of that. I do have a Patreon. So if you would like to help me on my journey of better home cooking education, go ahead and follow the link in the show notes over to my Patreon. There are some great rewards there, and I'm really looking forward to building up a community of great home cooks. I'll see you next time.